And now, RSM, the Ram Sports Magazine Show.
Welcome to RSM, Ram Sports Magazine Show. I'm your host, Anthony Keith. The madness of March has left us. Now the softball team is in full swing, however they're not off to the start they want to be, while the football team just began their spring practices. So we're going to check in with the team and how spring has been treating them so far. A 3-9 season is a thing of the past.
This season's going to be a total difference. It's going to be a total turnaround.
The 2011 season is on the horizon after the CSU football team finished their first spring practice.
You know, we're a long way from being ready to play a game, so obviously we're going to try to get as much done as we can and you know, get into the summer much better than we are right now.
Things are a little different this year as head coach Steve Fairchild made the decision to hold practice in the morning rather than the afternoon.
Well, I'm really not a morning person, but you know, I was happy waking up just to get back on the field.
You know, since I'm upperclassman, you know, we get a little bit more time to sleep in, so let the young guys go in and get tape first. I really don't wake up till 6, so it don't take me long to get here. So I'm really not worried about getting up early because we've been doing it all spring with mat drills and everything. So it's second nature right now.
I think you get up, you get going, and you know, there's some pluses and minuses. Like I said, we'll evaluate it when we're done.
We're glad that it's happening as a team, and you know, we're looking forward to it.
And we changed a lot of stuff up this offseason, and I think it was all for the positive, and I know a lot of the guys like the changes.
Last season, Pete Thomas entered spring practice with fierce competition for the starting quarterback position. This March, number 4 knows the spot is his and sets his focus from improving his individual talents to bettering the team as a whole.
Last year I was worried about the competition and just learning the playbook. Now I know all the plays, know everything pretty good, so I'm just going out there and just trying to get better fundamentally and just making the team better.
I thought they moved around pretty good, which is to be expected for the first day. Actually went a little faster than I had anticipated, but we still got to get a little better tempo in our team periods. But for the most part, they flew around pretty good.
Yeah, we that's something we're really focused on this year, man. We're trying to get back to the top of the of the conference and in defense overall. So that's one of our major goals on defense this year. So I mean, we want to get out there and set the tempo every day. No matter what, we want to get out there and set the tempo of the team, and then we can start, get the team to start practicing with high intensity.
Pretty good first practice. I mean, just kind of getting the rust off on offense, but I think it was pretty good, successful first practice. Not necessarily more reps. I feel like I've gotten a lot of reps from last year, and this spring I just need the reps I do get. I got to be perfect at, and I think I'm working pretty hard, and everyone else is, and we'll be pretty good on offense.
Yeah, there's been a lot of changes going on. Just to help us a little bit, just to get it exciting. As you see today, the practice was really exciting. The tempo was fast. The defense getting after the offense, and the offense getting after the defense. You know, we just got to bring the whole new attitude towards the team, and we just got to bring that every day to get it better and help us on Saturdays.
Sometimes we lose sight. We're out there to have a little fun too, and I thought they were enjoying it. Those team periods too, when we put the pads on, we'll start to keeping score, and I think they like that as well. So,
basically coming together more as a team, and then just having fun out there. Because right now nothing's changed. Everything's basically the same, offensively and defensively. So we just got to go out there, execute, and have fun, and just come together as a team. It's a lot more pressure and a lot more. I don't know, it's just everybody just wants me to do more, be more out there and a vocal leader and just take over and show everybody how things are supposed to go. So I'm ready to take over. Ricky helped me to take over, and a lot of the coaches have helped me get my mind right and to do things the right way. So I'm just ready to step into my new role.
Yeah, I definitely feel something different. I mean, like I was out there today, and like I was saying to some of the players, practice went by really fast, and I think that's because there's something different. And, that's the thing that we're trying to do here is get a change and, start winning some games. And I think having early practices like that is definitely a great start to get that atmosphere back. So.
You guys feel like you need to talk more to each guy?
Yeah, that's another thing that we focused on, communication. I know a lot of people have said it when we out there, we're talking a lot more, more hand signals and everything like that. So that's another key, communicating with everybody, defensive line, DBs, linebackers.
Well, just like anything, whether we go in the morning or the afternoon, we got 15 practices. We're a long way from being ready to play a game, so obviously we're going to try to get as much done as we can and get into the summer much better than we are right now.
Coming up after the break, last season it was all about the quarterback battle. This season it's all about the running backs. Stay tuned as I check in with the running backs of the football team.
You're watching RSM, the Rams Sports Magazine Show on Northern Colorado 5.
Welcome back to the show, Rams fans. This upcoming season, Coach Steve Fairchild has a lot to choose from as far as talent from the running back positions. So I'm going to check on in with the running backs during spring practice. After the 2010 football season ended, 3 senior running backs' time with the Rams ran out. Leonard Mason, John Mosier, and Zach Paga all became eligible for the draft and left room for new offensive leaders to step up.
Yeah, I'm real vocal this year, just being the senior, I feel like it's my time to step up, to get the guys going, keep the offense going and keep the tempo fast so we can get things better going into the 2011 season.
I really like how we're gelling as a group overall, and I don't know that any one guy is stepping up as much as the whole group is stepping up together.
One big change that affects the ground game for the upcoming season, Coach Larry Lewis's focus has been moved from safeties to running backs.
I like it. I think, when you look at offensively, I think Larry Lewis is really going to help us. Larry's, got a tremendous amount of experience, been a head coach. He's going to help our running backs. And
I think there's a lot more energy right now. I really see a lot of guys are having fun, a lot of energy out there.
A lot of that energy came from Chris Woke.
I call that the Woke special. He always doing something outrageous, but he always making plays. And
first of all, he reversed field on a kind of a trick type of play, which when those go bad, you just want to get back to the line of scrimmage. So right off the bat, I thought it was a negative thing, and then he leaves the ground again. But at the bottom line is he made a play. So.
Regardless of Coach Fairchild's warnings to never leave your feet, the sophomore leapt over a defender in a play that helped the offense claim victory over the defense and left everyone in green jerseys fired up.
We need to do that more often, have more fun so that, during games it will be the same kind of atmosphere so we can all be competing to get better. When we each make plays, we can, be going out and making each other feel good about it. That's the part of football that we need to bring back. So.
After the 4th spring practice came to an end, the intensity level continues to grow for the running backs.
Yeah, it was real intense. All off season we've been going back and forth. Now that we got the pads on, the competition stepped up a little bit. And, it's all love though. It's only gonna get us better to get us ready for the first game against New Mexico. But we out there competing against each other, trying to beat each other up. just to see who's the best out there. And right now we 2-0 in our scrimmages against the defense, and we just got to keep going with that.
This season, what's the mentality like compared to last season in spring ball?
Man, we just tired of losing, you know what I'm saying? So we just trying to change it up a little bit so we can go head in the right direction. We want to win games. We really want to go to the bowl game, and that's our attitude this year.
So are we going to see a lot of tools at your disposal come fall?
I hope so. And that's kind of what spring's about, is developing those tools right now in all of the guys that we have, because I think each one of them gives us something.
What's the competition level like between the offense and the defense? Things seem to be pretty fired up, a little tense out there.
And we're creating a lot of that too. We want them to compete in the spring, and that's part of it. You get into the end of the game or late season, you got to still be able to compete on every down.
Running backs this season, there's a lot of competition, a lot of depth. What does that mean to you?
It's good, man. We're all competing to get better, helping each other out. We're all family, brothers. It's fun, so.
I think it's us all pushing each other hard, and I think it's a good thing that we all have competition. We all have talent, and I think it's a good thing, and we all bring something to the table different. And when one of us is in there, we're rooting them on, and we're trying to help each other out. So
we got a lot of good backs. Woke, Derek Good, and we got Mark Wilberry out there with us. And it's real competition out there. It's only going to make us better, to get it ready for Saturdays.
I think it's a good thing.
I like hearing that. Now, it seemed a little tense out there between the offense and the defense. Now that you guys have full pads on, you're hitting hard. What's that competition level do for you?
No, it's just us having fun, and when you have somebody, out there trying to get you, you know, it makes you want to go harder too. And, you know, I think that's just our team bonding, you know, and whether, you know, maybe from the side it looks like we're getting mad at each other, but at the same time, you know, it's us all coming together as a team and, you know, pushing each other, making sure each other's, you know, amped up, and that's the biggest thing about it.
What's it do for the running backs having a quarterback that's actually experienced, you know, out there kind of leading the offense?
You know, he can help us, you know, and he knows all the plays, and it's really easy for him to tell us if we forget a position or forget what we're supposed to do. You know, he's there to help us, you know, and it's good to have somebody on the offense that knows all the plays. And, you know, we're all trying to help each other when we're in that huddle, and it's good that, you know, he has experience.
What's the mentality like around the team this season? Is it a lot different from the last spring practice?
Definitely a lot different. Everybody's having fun, competing hard, and just really have smiles on their face, and that's what we want. We want to have fun because football, you just got to love the sport, you know?
Like I said earlier, the softball team isn't off to the start they want to be. Coming up after the break, I have a one-on-one interview with junior pitcher Kelly Eubanks. Stay tuned, Rams fans.
You're watching RSM, the Rams Sports Magazine Show on Northern Colorado 5.
So I got to know already, you know, off to a 7-27 start. Did you picture your junior year starting off that way?
No, I definitely didn't. I think there's a couple things that I didn't picture happening my junior year, especially with my arm injury and things like that. But I know I am, and the rest of the team is definitely trying to make the most of it. And we're not off to a great start, but that doesn't mean we can't finish on a higher note.
Definitely. Talking about the arm injury, elbow, you had some surgery on it, but you're still playing through a lot. You know, you'd expect some athletes to go through some extensive surgery like that and, you know, back it off, but you're out there on the mound. And how do you feel out there? Last game against the Bears, you pitched 3-4 innings, was it? And how's that arm feeling?
It's feeling pretty good. It definitely felt like when I got back out there that I hadn't skipped a beat, which is always good. And it was nice to kind of be back out there with my teammates instead of on the sidelines watching so much. But it definitely felt like I've been doing it all season, so that's always a good start.
I like hearing that. Another huge thing this season is you got the head coach, Jen Fisher. What does it mean to you that, you know, she's a Fort Collins native, CSU grad, all this, all that, you know, she's got the blood tied to the school?
I think it's great, and she showed a lot of pride in our school and has instilled that a little bit more in our team, as far as I feel like we take a lot more pride in being a varsity sport and supporting our other athletes here, because we definitely aren't the only ones. So it's really nice, and it keeps us going.
This is such a young team. You're just a junior. Do you feel like you've taken on a leadership role this season?
I feel like I definitely have. I think a lot of that help in taking that leadership role has come from our past seniors who've already graduated and things like that. So I hope I can keep learning from Bug and our Caitlin Stem and Ivory Allen and, you know, improve my leadership skills.
Could you comment on Caitlin and Ivory's performance so far this season?
I think it's been great. They've definitely been our top two leaders on the team consistently on and off the field, as far as, you know, being in community involvement and in the school and things like that. So definitely two people that I'm going to miss a lot. So
talking about the most recent matchup against the Bears, you split a doubleheader over the weekend. What's that rivalry like for you, that in-state UNC Bears CSU Rams?
You know, I always want to beat everyone, so I kind of take it as a faceless opponent, but it always feels good to beat, you know, a team down the street. So
now you guys are on a 2-week break until conference play starts. Do you think you guys could really turn things around in conference?
Oh, definitely, and I think the coaches have taken that into consideration, as far as, you know, breaking practice down so we can work on a lot more fundamentals that, you know, that we can all tie back in together when we're back practicing together as a team. So I definitely see us making a good start, you know, during conference.
Looking a little farther ahead in conference, BYU, do they have sort of a target on their back after last season, and knowing that, you know, this is their last season in the Mountain West Conference?
Yeah. You know, it would be nice to kind of send them out, you know, with us on top. But, you know, every team in the conference is going to have their own challenges, and BYU is definitely one of them.
Last year, around this time, April, you had a no-hitter. Do you think you can pull another one of those off this season?
That's always my goal going out there, but I always, one of my big mottos is staying moment to moment. So I'd love to, but if not, just know that I'm giving it my best out there.
You mentioned that, you know, every game you're excited for. It doesn't matter who the matchup is. But is there any in conference that you're really excited for? Somebody that you want to take down the most?
I'm going to have to go with, there's a tie between probably BYU and UNLV, just because they're going to, I pick them just because they're very competitive, and I like that challenge out there on the mound. So.
And can you tell me a little bit about Coach Jen Fisher and how she is from the coaching standpoint, the changes? Has she been handling everything pretty well?
I think she's been handling it great, and one thing I give Coach Fisher props to is she realizes that we're more than just athletes, so she's willing to help us on the field and off the field, which is something I think sometimes we take for granted, but that's something that she's definitely helped me with. So she's taken over as a head coach wonderfully. So.
And what's the team atmosphere been like with the record, with everything that's been going on this season?
It's been great. Actually, Coach made a comment about that, how you wouldn't know, kind of with our record that, us being together as a team, you wouldn't know that we have the record that we have. And I think team chemistry is usually one of the biggest problems on a team, and we've already got that problem solved. So
I hope that carries on into conference. The NIT may be continuing without the Rams. However, coming up after the break, I recap the 2010-2011 season with head coach Tim Miles. Stay tuned.
You're watching RSM, the Rams Sports Magazine Show on Northern Colorado 5.
First off, kind of reflect on the season, the ups and downs, 2010-2011.
Well, it was an interesting season. We started out slow and we ended poorly. Everything in the middle was great. And, I think that we have a good sophomore group to build on, and I would expect us to continue to progress. And while we were happy to make the NIT, we're certainly not satisfied with the way we ended the year.
Now, NIT ending on the 62-60 score. Now that some time has passed, reflecting back on it, do you feel like the guys gave it their all, or do you feel like after not making the NCAA tournament, things were kind of in a down mode?
I thought it was a good game. I thought that Fairfield was a good team. They're a high-quality team. They won 26 games on the year for a reason, and I thought they just out-battled us, and it was unfortunate. I don't know exactly what the mind frame of our guys was. Certainly, we didn't come out on top, and that's always disappointing. That leaves you with that, but hopefully that can be fodder for continued improvement here in the offseason.
You're talking about that young core. You mentioned earlier in the season, Greg Smith's kind of stepping into the Travis Franklin role. Andy Ogaday leaving. Do you really have anybody to fill that spot, or are you going a different route with how you're going to coach the team?
Well, usually when you lose a player who's an excellent player like Andy, you don't just have somebody to, okay, now this is the new Andy. You become something else, and that's what we expect to do is just, not necessarily have to reinvent ourselves, but we'll have different strengths, and we'll accentuate those strengths as we go.
With the exception of 2 freshmen, you've essentially lost your bigs on the team. So recruiting in the offseason, is that a big focus of yours, or what is it that you're looking for right now?
Well, recruiting is always a big focus of ours. It's our lifeblood, and we're out trying to replace what we can, and we're excited about some of our prospects. It'll be an interesting month of April. We expect as we go and progress that we'll have our recruiting done toward the end of April, so we'll know a lot more what our team looks like after that.
Looking back on the season, what was the highest point? What was, in your mind, the biggest victory you guys had?
Well, it's hard to tell what the biggest victory was. You look at benchmarks, and when you just look at the summation of our season, it was the 7th or 8th only trip to the NIT. 19 wins, one of the top 10 winningest seasons of all of CSU history. There are a lot of really cool things that happened. I'd say the Cancun Championship was an important week for us. Winning at Las Vegas and bouncing through and beating some of those top 4 teams like Vegas and New Mexico were important days for us too. And we still have work to do. And as the Mountain West changing, we want to be one of those teams that are the top 2 or 3 or 4 teams every year with a chance to make the NCAA tournament.
With the Mountain West changing, BYU leaving, following the tournament, how well San Diego State and BYU did representing the Mountain West, aside from the fact BYU's leaving, what does that mean to you, seeing them progress that far into the tournament?
Well, I've been all across the country recruiting since our season ended, and people recognize the Mountain West everywhere. I don't care where you go, they're aware of the Mountain West. And I think you look at the last 2 seasons especially, with 7 teams in 2 years in the NCAA tournament, plenty of wins to go around too. I think that's really important, and I think people are realizing that this is a high level of basketball.
Do you feel like Jimmer Fredette obviously is a credit to the recognition of the Mountain West, but do you feel his performance helped you guys out by the recognition?
Well, there's no question all the attention that Jimmer Fredette got was really critical for our league and for all of us that benefit from that. And so I think Jimmer was good for us. We're sad to see BYU and Utah go. At the same time, life goes on, and we'll find a way to elevate our programs all the same.
Again, looking back at that last season, what was the low point for you guys?
Well, all the losing is low, but just the end, the way we did not finish strongly, I was not pleased with the last month of the whole season. And so at the end of the day, that's what I'm going with to try and make our program better.
What's the big message you have for the team in the offseason coming into next season?
Well, first of all, we just need to improve ourselves physically. We need to get in the weight room, hit the weights, improve our conditioning as we keep going. Our conditioning's fine. I want it to be unbelievable. And we do need more strength. We've got some of those younger guys that need to improve their strength level.
The softball team begins conference play in just a couple of weeks, while the football team's green and gold game is just around the corner. Tune in next week for more of an inside look at Rams athletics. Thanks for watching, Rams fans.